Hello aspirants, I welcome you all to editorial analysis of Shankar IAS Academy. Today's date is 7th of April 2025. Displayed here are the list of articles that we are going to discuss today. In this first article, we will be discussing in detail about President's rule that is currently happening in Manipur. And in the second article, we will be discussing about the rare diseases and what are all the issues surrounding these rare diseases. So without any delay, let us get into the article discussion. Now look at this article that talks about Manipur conflict. Now Manipur conflict is in news because the author of the article feels that the particular issue has not got prompt attention from the central government. So here you have to learn about two important things. Firstly, what is the president's rule, what are all the impacts of it, and secondly you have to learn about the important facts given in the article. So we'll be seeing both the things from the mains perspective. Before that, you have to know about the syllabus. It will be asked in a GS paper 2 under governance, constitution and polity. And we all know about the ethnic conflict that happened in Manipur. This particular ethnic conflict happened between two different ethnic groups in Manipur. Was the people in land area, land valley, as well as the people in hill area, which is nothing but Meiteis versus Kuki tribes. So this particular conflict led to president's rule in the particular region. So here comes the question, what is this president's rule? So it is imposed under Article 356. So to impose this Article 356, governor of that particular state has to give a report to the president. So if the president gives the report that the constitutional machinery in that particular state has failed, then the president will be invoking this particular president's rule, and the state government will be dismissed promptly, and the state legislative assembly, it will be either suspended or dismissed. So who will be taking care of the administration is governor. Governor will be ruling on behalf of president. So this is what is called as president's rule when it comes to the state. Now moving on, we shall see about the constitutional provision. As I said, it comes under Article 356. So this particular provision is very important from the prelims perspective, because the proclamation, how it is revoked, what are all the conditions involved, what are all the fundamental rights, or what are all the rights that has been dismissed. So those kinds of question, it will be in the preliminary question, or it will be asked in mains question. So you cannot avoid this particular article, so make note of it. Now when the report is given by the governor, the parliament and the president rule is invoked. Parliament has to approve that president rule within 2 months. So this can be extended every 6 months up to 3 years. So every 6 months they will be asking again and again in the parliament whether this particular president's rule can be extended or not. So if the parliament is willing to revoke it, they will revoke it on the go, and if not, they will be continuing this particular president's rule. And this particular case, SR Bommai case of 1994, they set limit for misuse. So they said that this particular president's rule, it cannot be invoked when there is a political tussle. So for the political gains or the political uses, they cannot use this particular president's rule. So moving on, these are certain basics of it. Now coming to the article, now let us see what are all the issue in Manipur governance. Firstly, union government's neglect. So the parliament, they rarely discuss about this particular issue, and the budgetary support for the particular state is very inadequate, because the topic is not frequently discussed in the parliament. Secondly, there is law and order breakdown. There are arms has been looted, and insurgents are still active there, and there is poor coordination between security forces. So this has also led to poor law and order maintenance in that particular place. Thirdly, there is lack of rehabilitation. Lot of houses, schools are not rebuilt, and a lot of people has displaced from their own land, and they lack documents also. And we have Act East policy failure. We have ethnic violence, stalled infrastructure projects, especially with our neighboring countries. Now moving on, here comes the question, what can be the way ahead? So the first thing is we have to restore the trust among community. For that, we have to discuss this in our parliament, or we have to meet up the we have to go to the ground reality of the place, and we have to bring in a lot of grievance redressal, and we have to take action on that particular issue, and we should rehabilitate the affected area. For documents, there is DigiLocker. For people, they can even take their documents through DigiLocker, and there is disarmament and law enforcement. There should be disarmament as well as law enforcement reforms, and they should be they should ensure the mental as well as trauma care. This is very important thing. And fourthly, we have to bring in inter community dialogue. For this also, the government has to settle down, and they have to meet, they have to create a particular meeting where both the team, both the ethnic communities leaders will be having a equal ground to converse or put forth their demands. And that is, they have to empower the local leader through this inter-community dialogues. And finally, they have to bring in regular parliamentary oversights in this particular issue in order to adjust this particular law and order issue in the state. So these are all very important facts that you have to remember from this article discussion. Now, based on the things we have discussed, I have framed a mains question for you. Let me read out the question. The imposition of president's rule in Manipur reflects a large failure of governance in India's northeast. Critically examine. So you can write an answer and post it in the comment section. It is a 150 word for a 10 marker, and if you are writing an answer, we will be reviewing it, and your peers also will be reviewing it. So with these learned points, let us move on to the next news article discussion. Now look at this article that talks about rare diseases. The article talks about very lower concentration that has been provided to this rare diseases. So from the mains perspective, let us quickly go through certain important facts that you have to remember. Before that, you have to look at the syllabus under which this topic can be asked. It can be asked under health, especially under GS paper 2. So we shall start with what is the actual context, or what is the constitutional mandate when it comes to health. See, we have Article 21. Under this particular article, we have right to life, including the right to affordable healthcare. So despite this, rare disease patients, they are having neglected, they have been neglected despite judicial activism and the National Policy for Rare Diseases NPRD 2021. So this is why the particular article has been written. Now moving on, we shall see what is this rare disease. See, according to World Health Organization, it defines rare diseases as a condition affecting one or fewer per 1,000 people. So if there are 1,000 people, and if one particular person is affected, then that kind of diseases is categorized as rare diseases. They can be chronic, they can be degenerative, they can be progressive, they can lack curative treatment, and they can impose severe burdens on patients as well as families. Now moving on, we shall see about the current status. Currently, India has over 13,000 patients registered under the National Rare Disease Registry. So according to NPRD 2021, they are providing 50 lakh cap per person who has been registered under this particular rare disease registry. However, many treatment like the spinal muscular atrophy, SMA, they are very rare kind of diseases. So those kinds of diseases and the treatment for them will cost like 72 lakh annually. So now just look at the gap between the fund that is required. Now secondly, the policy implementation is also slow and underfunded. So these are the very important current status of the rare diseases. So here comes the question, what are all the challenges? See, first thing is high cost. So the financial cap that has been provided by our central government is very, very inadequate, and families, they often rely on crowdfunding. So you can see in newspapers, a lot of advertisements will be there where people will be asking, will be telling about their condition and asking for donations. So through newspapers and through lot of medias, they will be collecting fund from people, which is nothing but the crowdfunding, and using that they will be solving or they will be treating that particular disease. Now second important thing is poor implementation. So the court, they are implementing or they are insisting the executives to implement the policies properly. However, there are certain delays in the fund in disbursements. Thirdly, patent monopolies. See, there are a lot of cure for diseases, but pharma industries, they are keeping it, they are actually so the pharma companies, they wantedly keep the prices too high, and they make the patent expensive. So this evergreening process, there is a process called evergreening. So that if the patent expires by 10 years, and in the 10th year, what the company will be doing is, they will be changing a small portion of that same component, and they will be applying again for the patent. So like this, they will keep the patent itself evergreen. So what the issue happens here is, so once the patent is over, any particular company or any particular country, they can recreate that medicine in another name. So it is a very legal thing. While doing it, during the patent duration, they have to get permission from that patent holder. Except that, after the completion of the patent, they can use it for general purposes. So this is how it will be implementing in our country, or even in the world. But what happens during this evergreening processes, the patent will be continuing n number of times. So even the affordable options, or even the affordable way to get that particular treatment is hindered here. So this is a very big challenge that we are currently facing. Fourthly, we have lack of coordination, especially ministries, they work in silos. Silos is nothing but separate rooms. So they are not coordinated through one platform, which is a very big challenge. Committees for coordination only recently it has been formed. That is weaker implementation, courts cannot enforce implementation, and executive inaction persists. Now moving on, what is the way ahead? So we have to increase financial assistance cap, and we have to expedite fund disbursement without any delay. Secondly, we have to support domestic protection of orphan drugs, and we have to foster trials even for that. And thirdly, we have to bring in we have to use lot of compulsory licensing to counter monopolies, and we have to strengthen institutional coordination. And finally, we have to bring in judicial and parliamentary oversight for accountability in this particular area. So these are all very important facts that you have to remember when it comes to rare diseases. So far we saw about what is rare diseases and what is the definition of it, and then we saw about what are all the challenges in the rare diseases and what is the way ahead. Now, based on the things we have discussed, I have framed a mains question for you. Despite judicial activism, rare disease governance in India remains a policy mirage. Critically examine. So it is a 150 word for a 10 marker. You can write an answer and post it in the comment section so that we can review your answer. So with this, we came to the end of the news article discussion. If you like the video, hit like, do comment, and don't forget to subscribe to Shankar IAS Academy YouTube channel. Now, thank you so much for listening.